Good morning, class. Happy Thursday. So today we're continuing to work on volume, and yesterday we learned about the liquid volume of 1 liter equaling 1,000 centimeters cubed. All right, and we learned that we could use liters and milliliters to represent our volume in order to find the missing dimension that we need to. Okay, so today we're kind of continuing that. We're taking a small step past that to work on some word problems, but the idea is the same, right? That we're going to use our liters and milliliters as our volume so that we can find the missing dimension. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to look at page 82 in our textbook. Okay, and we're working on this last problem right here. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you guys and explain how we're going to try this. So it says, a rectangular container measuring 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters is filled with water to the brim, so like right to the top. If 750 centimeters cubed, or milliliters if you want to call them that, of water is poured out from the container, what will be the height of the water level? Okay, so I've drawn it out here for us, so we know we have 3 dimensions. So there's a couple ways that we can approach this. Okay, we've been given the amount of water poured out. So this amount is 750 centimeters cubed. Okay, that has been poured out of the container to leave an amount remaining. Okay, so what we can do is we can use this as our volume. Okay, like we did. Okay, and then we're just following along to find the height, because that's what the question is asking us. What is the height remaining? And what we'll have to do is we'll do our equation, so 750 over the length times the width, which is 20 times 10, which equals 200. Okay, and that's going to give us 75 over 20. Okay, which is 3.75. So here, I'll show you how I did that. So we have 75 divided by 20, and 20 fits into 75 3 times evenly, okay, because that is 60. Okay, 15 left over, and this is where we do our decimals now. So we're going to give ourselves a 0, and we're going to mark the decimal spot and bring it down. Okay, because obviously 15 doesn't fit into 20, or 20 doesn't fit into 15, sorry. And then we are going to figure out how many times 20 fits into 150, which is 7 times, okay, because that's 140. Okay, and so now we have 10 left. We're going to give ourselves another 0, and 20 fits into 100 5 times. So, and that's even. All right, so 3.75 centimeters. Okay, and now here's the part where we really need to pay attention, because this number is not what the question is looking for. The question is asking what's the height that's left, right? What is the height of the water level that's still in the container? This height, because it's from the 750 centimeters cubed, this height is what was taken out, right? So what we have to do in order to find the remaining height, which is this little spot here, is we have to take our total height, which we've been given as 10, and subtract it by our amount that was taken out, the height that was taken out, which is going to give us 6.25. Okay, and that is one way that you can find the answer for the missing dimension, the height that is remaining. Okay, see how that works? So we use the information we've been given, the 700 centimeters cubed that was poured out, and we use that to find the level of water that was taken out. And then, of course, whatever is left is the remaining height of the water. But there's another way that you can approach this. Can anyone think of another way that we can figure out the height that is missing? Let's look. So we can use the volume, because we've been given 3 dimensions here, so we can find the full volume of this cube. Okay, And I'm going to do this in a new color to show that it's different. So we can do 20 times 10 times 10, okay, which is going to give us 2,000 centimeters cubed as our starting spot, okay? And then we do 2,000 minus 750. And this is the water that was taken out, right? Which is going to give us 1,250 centimeters cubed. So that tells us this volume here. So the volume of water remaining is the 1,250 centimeters cubed, okay? And now we can go through this process with 1,250 as our volume. So we have 1,250 over 20 times 10, which equals 200. Okay, we can knock off 1 0 each, and it's going to give us 125 over 20. And we'll do our long division again. Over 20. Okay, and so obviously 20 doesn't fit into 12, so we'll start by looking at it as a whole, and we can use our mental math. We can go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. So it fits in 6 times with 5 remaining. Okay, and we'll do our decimals again. We'll bring down a 0, and 20 fits twice into 50 with 10 remaining. Okay, so we'll bring down another 0 and fits into 100 5 times. So then we can get right to the answer, which is 6.25 centimeters cubed. Okay, so that's still the height that we were looking for. So you can approach these questions, these word problems, in a few different ways. But it's important to keep track when you're doing the calculations of what you're calculating. So for example, with this one, we started out by calculating this height, right? The height that was emptied out. And then we subtracted that from the total height to find the remaining height, okay? Whereas the pink way, or the purple way, we started by figuring out the remaining volume so that we could find this height, okay? So whichever method you choose is great. Just make sure you keep track of what you're calculating so that you can get to the right answer, right? Like if we had stopped here, that's not the right answer, okay? So make sure that you know what you're doing, and then you're all set, okay? So that's today's lesson. So now it's your turn. So today's workbook is exercise 54, which is on page 99. So it's just 2 questions, and they're the same formula as we have here. So just make sure that if you need to, you're looking at your anchor charts that show the equations and the conversion, and then you should be all set. But if you have any questions, I have my Zoom today to help you out, okay? So you're welcome to pop in at 10 a.m. Please do try the questions ahead of time and then come to me with questions after having tried them, okay? And that is math for today.